Hello, my friend. Welcome. I hope you're having an outstanding day. This is Heather. Welcome back to the Back to Me podcast, where we talk about all things wellness, all things that are going to help you shift your perspective and have a better life and feel better. And when you feel better, that ripples out into the world. And that is my life goal, to create a tidal wave of awesome out into the world. And how do I do this? I bring interesting people to come and talk to me because I don't know all the answers, but somebody else has the answers that perhaps I'm missing. And today is the amazing and awesome Karen Gray.
And
Hi.
the crowd goes wild.
Wow. Right? I could
Jazz
do cheering,
hands.
right? Jazz hands. Karen, so awesome to talk to you again. It's so
Oh,
great to see you. We were just catching up on all the stuff we've been doing since we talked last, and all the cool things that you're doing, which I love all of them. If
thank
I
you.
had 10 of me, I would do everything. Do you know what I mean?
I wish I had at least that many. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
right?
thank you. Thank you for having me on. I was honored to have you on my show and just so blessed to be in this conversation again because we had the best conversation.
Yeah. And we just keep continuing on, I feel like. But because, well, I know you, but my audience doesn't know you. So maybe give us a little bit of how you stepped into this speaker, leader, coach kind of role. Like, what drew you
Yeah.
down that road?
Oh my goodness. So back in 19, no, I'm just joking.
I know.
Um, yeah. So I worked in corporate America altogether for about 30 years. I started in banking and then went to credit unions and ended up in financial services. And along the way, I had an opportunity to help my daughter. She was getting ready for pageants. And in the process of competing, our friend who had got her started and was her coach passed away in a car accident.
Oh my.
And that was my introduction because to help her get ready, I just jumped in, started coaching her and getting her ready. Not intentionally thinking about it being coach, but that's what I was doing.
Right.
That evolved into me loving it and finding that I was really passionate about helping her with her speeches and interview process and all the things. And then she did really well. She won. And our friends that were competing in the same world, doing other things, started asking me to coach their daughters. And then those girls grew up and did college interviews or other things, had boyfriend issues or whatever. They would come back to me for coaching. Parents would come to me, and it just organically grew. So, using the skills I learned in corporate America through Dale Carnegie training and Toastmasters and all the things, I applied all of those skills and noticed that the same struggles that my financial advisory clients had, the women, with confidence, with owning money, receiving abundance, taking criticism in their careers, their jobs, getting raises, all the things were the same struggles that I had faced personally and that these young girls were facing to some degree. And so I noticed that we can empower these girls younger and help the moms to overcome some of these so that they're leading from a place of empowered decision making and self-worth and confidence to begin to end these cycles, because it starts with us and then it goes down to our girls and our children, or our circles. And
Right.
so I just fell in love with this process. It used to be called leadership, right? Now we call it coaching.
Right.
And now we've put some context to it and some skills behind it and really evolved the whole process. But now I get to share and talk about that from the stage or from, corporate boardrooms or wherever it is, because it's all linked, because how we do anything is how we do everything. And I realized that coaching wasn't just what I enjoyed. It Through this whole evolution, it became who I am. And so there's no off on switch anymore. It's just me. That's why, I just go by Coach Karen Gray, because that's
Right.
the evolution of me. And also when I was in that space, it caused me to have to face my own things so that I could grow to then help those that were coming to me for help. I had to go first. I had to do the work. I had to lean in and grow so that I could help others. So it's just been a whole evolution of me going first and figuring it out and then helping others.
It's funny that you say that, because I can remember. So what it started when I was a massage therapist. I still do, and a personal
Mm.
trainer. I still do it now. People would come to me and say, "I've been considering this," and if I didn't know, I'd say, "Oh, let me go try that, and I'll come back and let you know how it works out."
Right?
So it's like, I will try it, so you don't have to try it first, and then I'll
Mhm.
let you know
Right.
how it worked out. And I feel like coaches, and it's what you were just saying, like, we're often the people who go and try it to see what doesn't work, so that we can come back
Yeah.
and go, "Don't do this."
Yeah. Well,
Right.
I always tell, especially my younger girls, because I do still work with some pageant girls, and just anyone really. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to try and learn by experiencing. Just don't make my mistakes. Like, learn from my mistakes. Learn from the things that I've learned, and then go find your rhythm
Right.
through the things that work for you. Um, but it has been such a I don't wanna say hard, because hard isn't the right word, but it has been a evolution of, I call them rocks.
Yes, I know
These
your
things
rock
that I
movers.
Yes, my rock movers is my podcast, because it's really about these things that I've been carrying all these years that I picked up that were, kind of put upon me, um, ideologies or traumas or whatever it is, and moving those, just realizing that they were even there, first off, and then moving those wasn't always the easiest thing to do. But when I did it, and when, as you say, kind of get back to me and found out who I am and why I do things and why I feel that way, and begin to own that and operate from that place, it changed everything.
Right.
And so when someone comes to me and they're like, "Hey, what about this?" Not only do I have an opinion about it, I can speak to it and be okay if they have a different opinion.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I'm seeing now in corporate, in social media, the political realm is, oh my gosh, right now,
Right.
where
Yeah.
people can't have differing opinions without it being offensive and name calling and toxic. Especially, I don't know about Canada, but here in America, it is really challenging.
I think that, you are much more polarized than we are, although we do have a lot of arguments
Mhm.
about who's in charge. But I feel like, right now in the US,
Mhm.
it's, it's very strange to be on the outside and watch and see how divisive it can be to have a difference of opinion, and
Yeah.
everybody's right and everybody's wrong. I mean,
Yeah.
so it's like, wow, that's crazy. And you just reminded me, I saw a road sign recently when you were talking about it's okay to make mistakes. I saw a sign recently that said, "Mistakes are proof that you're trying."
Yeah.
And I thought,
Exactly.
that's so smart. That's so smart that it's like, it's okay because you're going to.
Mhm.
And who knows what the fallout is going to be of the things that are going on in the world right now. I mean, I feel like there's a large shift happening. Like, at
Mhm.
one point, I saw someone post something on social media that said nobody ever knows how to argue anymore. They just attack the other person who has a difference of opinion. But I feel like those conversations are coming back now, maybe. You're always going to have trolls, but who are like,
Oh, the lovely trolls.
oh, the trolls. And some people just like to be trolls. Like, some people are just that no person, that attack person. but I feel
Yeah.
like there is more opportunity now for conversation. And because we are, for the most part, back in person for a lot of things, and we've
Mhm.
reached this hybrid world, people are re-engaging and remembering, oh, right, there's other people on the other end of these
Yeah.
conversations.
Yeah, that are real people with real
Yeah,
feelings,
yeah,
and, we have dehumanized people, and I see it so often, the bullying and the sorry, just one second. Call. I apologize.
that's okay.
Teenagers. Um, but we see people disconnecting from the humanity of who they're communicating with, and remembering that, even, for me, I have to remind myself, because there's some things I don't understand,
Yeah,
differing opinions, or how people position themselves, or things that they'll allow don't make sense to me. And that's okay.
yeah,
I don't have to know. They're still valuable, and they're still humans, and still deserve to be loved. And I have to kind of check myself, because I have very strong opinions just like everybody else. That doesn't mean they're right. They're just mine. So,
yes, yes, absolutely. And I did an exercise once. I was in a mastermind group where we were talking about permaculture,
mm,
like the art of growing gardens with permaculture um, philosophy, but applying it to a community. It was so interesting. But one of the exercises he had us do was to pick some topic that we were very anti, and try to understand the other person's opinion and where they were
mm,
coming from. And it's a super interesting exercise to take. And I don't want to go too far off track down that road,
yeah.
but I invite people to do that for yourself. Just pick something that pisses you the hell off. And then try to understand. You could Google
Mm,
maybe what the opinions are, but just try to figure out where they're coming from. Don't just
yeah.
dismiss it. It's an interesting exercise, even if you don't tell anybody that you did it.
That's what you're
Like
doing.
it's
I think that can apply to everything, right? If you're a leader, if you have a team, if you are selling to your clients and trying to connect, just, the old, in uh, the US, we have Native Americans that, there's a saying, if you could walk a mile, or don't judge someone unless you've walked a mile in their moccasins. And basically, until you've put yourself in their position and looked at life through their frame of reference or their lens,
mhm,
you really don't understand. So if you could perhaps see your team, your spouse, your kids through their lived experience, it allows you to have more compassion for some of the things they believe. Um,
right.
my biological family, I was adopted when I was born. Well, I was a couple months old when I was adopted, but we didn't grow up together. We found each other as adults. And they grew up in rural Cleveland, Ohio, and I grew up in New Mexico on the Navajo reservation. My dad worked for the gas company, and I grew up in company housing on this gas camp. So very, very different. I now live in Texas. They're still very urban. I'm very rural and country. And, just the conversations we've been able to have about the necessity for guns. Texas is a big gun state. Why is that important? Well, in Cleveland, you call 911, they're there in 2 minutes. When you live 40 minutes out from anything, you are 911.
Right.
So, the need to have protection is different. So, anyway, it was just simple question, conversations like that, of seeing yourself through someone's eyes. And as a coach, as someone that, is speaking to people from all different backgrounds, it's really imperative that we don't project our opinion, our situation, our perspective, our lens on those that we're serving because they have a very different lived experience.
Very different. Yes. I've
Yeah.
had some clients that I had to really have that challenge of going,
Mm.
wow, that is so outside of my
Yeah.
experience. I've got to go and do some work to understand this so that I can
Mhm.
come more to the table to help you. And
Yeah.
I think, but even with all that, there are commonalities. So, because I know that you
Sure.
focus a lot on women, it's like there are those commonalities that the role of women, while it's been shifting,
Mhm.
we still carry old stories with us,
Always. Yeah.
right? And I know you have, because you mentioned that you have a new mini confidence course.
I do. Yeah. I'm
And
so excited about it because each of the sections, there's 5 sections, and each of the sections has a video where I'm literally talking and just sharing from such an unscripted, authentic place. I am, if you do human design, I'm a manifesting generator. So I am a responder. And coming from a place of responding to hundreds of coaching conversations or thousands of coaching conversations and hundreds of questions that have been presented to me about confidence and my own lived experience, I'm responding to those because there is this commonality of women who have acquiesced our confidence to everyone else. And so we find our confidence in what we do, not who we are. We find our confidence in the value that others place on us, in our titles, in our roles. So, I'm valuable because I'm a mom. I'm valuable because I'm a wife. I'm valuable because someone else determines that I am. What happens when that changes, when they don't feel that way or they're grown and they don't need me anymore, or the divorce? So I took those questions and needs and put them in this little mini course that's bite-sized pieces so that you can get support and find out, is coaching even something that's relevant for you? So it's kind of an introductory to my mastermind, which is called Worthy Woman, just launched. I'm so excited about that. And getting real with this perception about imposter syndrome, because that is the new version for insecurity. Like,
right.
that's the new hot button word, but insecurity, lack of confidence, low self-worth,
We just had to give it a new name,
we now call it imposter syndrome, but it's
right?
all the same. It's all we've bought into a story that isn't true.
Well, and I love that you've brought up that where people place their value. Also, on that side note, I'm a projector. So, and
Of course you are.
of course I am. So I'm always sitting here going, I got the answers. As soon as you're
Mhm.
ready to ask me, I got them. But
Yeah.
um, the, because this is a conversation I literally had yesterday, that this person felt like they were failing because
Mm.
they, and they're not even 30 yet, and they're feeling like they're failing because they're so far behind this or that, and they were supposed to be doing this by now, and they're
Right?
supposed to have this career. And I was like,
Oh,
what
I
is this?
love
What
I
is
love
this?
when women should all over themselves,
Right? I
right?
did a podcast episode once called Stop Shooting All Over Yourself.
That's
And
true, we
we
do.
do tend to look outside of us. And I'm not saying that
Mhm.
men don't do this, but look outside of us for that validation of, is this okay? Is this okay? Am I doing this right? Is this?
Mhm.
And at one point, it's interesting. I just got, I don't know if you use the pattern. I use this
Oh,
astrological.
I love the pattern, yes.
Ooh,
Oh
we
my
have to become
gosh.
friends. Uh,
Okay.
so it was telling me, I'm coming to an end of a 19-year cycle. And if I look back, I'm like, oh my God, I am. And it was like 20 years ago where I went,
Yeah.
this is bull. I'm out of here.
Yeah. Well, I'm in the middle of an 18-month cycle, or I guess not even the middle, maybe a quarter of the way through. And I'm feeling all of it, all of it.
Right.
So if
I
you're
will
not
say,
familiar with it, it is
yeah,
an app. It's called The Pattern, and it is brilliant. You can get the free version or you can upgrade to the paid. I say get the paid because it's amazing. It's
okay, I
super
haven't upgraded
reasonable.
yet.
Oh, you get you get audios that dive into and oh my gosh.
Okay.
It's like they're
I'll put
reading
the
your
link in the
mail
show notes. Yeah, I'll
every
put the
single
link in the show
day.
notes for everybody. But it
Mhm,
is interesting. Some like you're in an 18-month cycle, you said?
mhm.
Something like that. So I will say I didn't know I was in a 19-year cycle until recently, but if I now and I look back, I go, yeah, I have
Yeah.
been. And by the way, it hasn't all been bad. And I now can look at it and go, I have been completely working my way through this 19 years.
Mhm.
And I was already feeling that energy of like, rainbows
Yeah.
and unicorns. I didn't know that it was a 19-year cycle until just recently.
Yeah.
But you do come on the other side, no matter how long a thing is that's happening to you or for you. I like to say, no matter how long something is happening for you,
Yes.
the less you fight against it, unless it's been predetermined by the stars or
Oh my
something, you
goodness.
just decide whether you like that or not. But
Yeah.
you do come
Well,
out on the other
even through times where there is either, the rub or, uh, I forget what the term is. Anyway, all of that, there is just an awareness that there's an awakening happening, right? Some things are going on with the planets and, all of the energies, because everything is energy, that's causing me an awareness to look at what isn't serving me or where do I need to grow or where. So it's just the pattern, um, astrology, any of that is scientifically allowing you to dive into your purpose, your passions, your why, and the chemical makeup inside of your human body that's attached to your psyche, your energy, your soul, and go, what do I do with this?
right,
Why do I feel sluggish today and yesterday I felt empowered? Okay, well, the moon's moved. Well, the moon moves the ocean. Why wouldn't it affect you? Of course it's
right.
going to, right? So there's different things that it
And
just
I
helps
think
go,
it's I
oh, that
think
makes
it's
sense.
yeah, I think it's funny that people will accept that the moon impacts things, but not the rest of the planets. They're bigger
It's
than the moon.
Yeah, oh my gosh, and it's just, you know, th if you look at it, and I think sometimes our traditional church teachings, at least I'll say in America, right? Our traditional church teachings have made us feel like that's satanic or evil, and I'm of the mindset that God created it all. It's there for us. Why would we not use that? Like our ancestors used it for years and years and years. That's how they got around. That's how they made decisions. That's how they determined when to plant.
Yeah,
It literally determined their hunting, their planting, everything. And so we're missing that primal wisdom when we don't tap into that.
yeah. I'm definitely gonna put that one in the show notes. I'll even put in a link for people who are like, "Human design again, Heather."
Oh
So
my gosh.
I'll put in links
Please,
for
if you're
them to go
not
and check
into
it out.
human design, just give it a shot. It
Just
is.
go read, even if you just read your main
Mhm.
type, like, you'll get a
Yeah.
huge amount of information,
I think
right?
for me, it gave me permission to be who I was created to be without judgment. I
Yeah,
stopped judging the fact that I'm not someone that's an Elon Musk starter, right? I don't envision, or a Steve Jobs, right? Like I don't envision Apple, but if he came to me and said, "Hey, Karen, this isn't working," I'd be like, "Oh, well, you could do this, 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 this. Collapse time. Here it is. Better, better." I'm not a Heather. I don't look at things and go, "Oh, this is why you're here, and this is the purpose, and this, and this, and this. This is how you could do this, or why you should do this." I'm
right.
like, "Oh, okay, that's why, but now I could do it better."
Yeah,
And it makes so much sense. And then I do a lot of things, and then I pass them on. And I
Yeah.
love
And
that about
I don't
myself.
have, it's interesting because I don't, it gave me permission to rest,
Yes. Oh, projectors have to.
which I thought, no wonder. When I read it, I'm like,
Mhm.
oh my God, thank goodness. It's
Yeah,
okay. I
yeah.
can just be rest. I can just rest. It's
Mhm.
okay. Because, you know, when you, a lot of the world is like your manifestors, generators who have so much energy and they're popping all over the place. And I'm trying to keep
Mhm.
up with them. No, I can't do it.
Yeah, no, and you're not meant to, right?
No.
It's not who you're designed to be, and the fact that you were able to identify that and give yourself permission is great. And I know as a manifesting generator, because I'm both profiles, I can work super hard and like get a lot done. Like I act really quick. I act before some people have even given it thought. I'm already done and moved on. So I know that about myself. But also, I work really, really, really hard and crash. Really, really, really hard, crash. So, in those moments of crashing where I need to rest and recharge, I can also give myself grace during that time. Where
Right.
before I judge myself, like I'm a hard worker. I work really hard. Why can't I keep going? I'm not
Yeah.
designed to do that.
And I love that we're talking about this because not only is it relating to human design, but as a person,
Hmm.
recognizing your own patterns, whatever they
Yes.
are, the stories that you tell yourself about yourself, and changing them if they need to be, if there's something that's not serving you. And I'm assuming, you know, your worthy woman course is your mastermind is like kind of addressing some of that too. And I know you're
Mm.
speaking, you can talk about, let's talk about the mastermind a little bit because I love masterminds, first of all.
Yeah, thank you. So my mastermind came from I'm participating in a mastermind, and prior to that, I really hadn't found tremendous value from masterminds. They were big groups and lots of people that they were more group coaching than instead of masterminds. But I'm in one, participating in one that my personal coach is offering, and I just wanted to duplicate that feeling for the women I serve. And so it's women primarily 40 to 65, um, in this phase where we have served others and sacrificed ourselves to the point where it's hard to delineate who we are versus who we've created ourselves to be. And kind of like you share this back to me philosophy of finding what I value, who I am, being able to stand on that, own the value and worth of who I am, not what I do, not who I've become, not how I show up, but me at my core. Naked, vulnerable, just this is me, all my ugly, all my scars, all my beauty, inherently, intrinsically valuable because God created me, because I am. And so this group is keeping it super small, around 8 to 10 max. I'm trying to keep it around 8. I have 2 groups that have launched now, and then those that come in, if there's not a space in that group, then they'll go on a wait list, and then we'll create a new group, a new time. So super excited to offer it, crazy reasonable rates, and just love, love, love to live out my philosophy and my life vision, which is where we started with
Mm-hmm.
the first group is who are you? What do you value? What is your personal vision statement for your life? And what is your personal mission statement? And we do those for our business, but not for our personal life. And it's like, what is your why? And taking that to a whole new level. And
Right.
so um, doing that is the philosophy, because I believe our intrinsic value plus the belief in that value is what determines your worth.
Right. And I actually, I'm so happy that you are making this a piece of the mastermind and having people go through it, because I've been feeling lately like, what is your why? Follow your passion, follow your bliss, have been these words like, don't worry, be
Mm,
happy. And everybody just says it, but nothing
yeah.
ever comes from it. So being concrete about it, I love tactile, like putting it on real paper
Yeah.
where you can
So do
touch
I.
it and hang it up, will shift people's worlds, really. Like, it's
I
going to
agree.
shift you.
I think so. Thank you for sharing that. I feel like the world has, because of all of the the information that's coming at us, we have become more and more kinesthetic in our learning style, where we need to not only see it, say it, but get in there and do it. Like, physically handwrite it. There is a cognitive um, change that happens when you see something, write it. It plants into a different part of our brain, and our reticular activating system goes to work then looking for the things that we're focusing on. So that's why journaling and writing your affirmations is so important, because your reticular activating system gets triggered and goes about believing and finding those things, to be finding proof of them. And so when you write your values and you know what you value, because if you say, what is your why? Well, I'm here because my family. Why? Well, because, like you said, it's not concrete. That's
Yeah.
that's about, what you do. You're part of that family. Maybe you're here to procreate, and all of that could be true, but is that the truth of your soul being born? What
Right.
is what is it that you value? And for me, I have pulled back all the layers and know, based on astrology readings, my own journaling, prayer, me just having a conversation with God, I am literally here to love. I am here so that any woman, any person that comes across my path knows that they are loved, knows that they are valuable, that they are worthy, and that they are able to see that in themselves and find it in themselves. That is my mission, or that is my vision for my life. My mission is how I do that through my coaching.
Right. That's amazing. And I said to somebody recently, um, it's not a race. You don't have, it's like, it's not, I feel like, oh my God, I don't know mine. I'm falling behind. But
Yeah.
I just recently, like, I had an inkling of mine, but I found, like, I'm turning 58, and I
Mhm.
just found mine recently, like, put it in concrete terms, and I've put it as part of my title. I'm here to facilitate transformation, whatever that is for someone. And part for me, that is like holding that space and that acceptance and that view from outside, for so that person can see it. And if however long I need to hold that for you till you can see it, I'll hold it for you.
Yeah.
But um, I don't do the transformation. I just help the people do what you're like. You're helping people figure it out because that's part of your mission. I'm just doing it in a Heather way. You're doing it in a Karen way, right?
Yeah.
So, oh my
Well,
God,
there was sorry, I just pulled this up because I wanted
yeah,
to, there's the philosophy that, like, if you're not successful by 30, life's almost over, right? But Colonel Sanders was, what, in his 70s when he um, created his recipe, or created his Colonel Sanders, or Kentucky Fried Chicken. Oprah was in her 40s when she launched the Oprah Network. There's so many people that, I was trying to pull it up and I don't have it in front of me, but there's a great meme or a post going around about, all of these people who found success over the age of 40 or 50 or 60. There isn't a perfect date. We don't have, like, you don't come with this expiration date tapped onto you. So
right. I said that actually yesterday. I lifted up my shirt. I'm like, I don't see a best before date on my belly. So
Right? So there is the fact that you're still here and breathing, and this is when you discovered this thing, whatever you just learned, like those posts that say, I was today year old when I realized blah, blah, blah. Okay, you were today years old when you realized how valuable you are and what you're supposed to do with it. Perfect. That's exactly when you were supposed to learn.
yeah, it would have
How
been
would you
too
do
early
things
before,
differently?
right?
Yeah, how would you do things differently if you believed that everything that had happened up into this date was preparing you for today?
Exactly. Because it's true.
It is true. Absolutely.
What is the topic that you're speaking on at the event in
Oh my
October?
goodness. So excited. There's this event. One of my dear friends, Suzanne Castle, has an event called Verve. It's VERVE. And her whole philosophy is all about sparkle. And sparkle is that spirit of living unapologetic, unleashed, and fully in your spiritual zone. Like you are just living on purpose. Um, I am on the women's confidence and mindset panel. So I get to speak to the group about confidence. It's in Dallas, October 17th through the 19th. If you get to hear this and there's still tickets available, please, please, please check it out.
Are they doing
I'm sure
virtual or is it all in person?
it's
Is there-
all in person. It's a very inclusive event. She's capping it at 100,
Whoa.
and we are recording this in August, and it's halfway sold out. And so there's still seats available. Hopefully there is when you're hearing this, but I don't know if you can get away at that time, Heather. But oh my gosh, the women that are going to be speaking, they have a singer coming in. I mean, this Suzanne does amazing events. The goodie bag that she's given out is over $500 worth of value,
Wow.
and
Go. Everybody fly down to Dallas.
it is so much fun. And the hotel that it's at is a boutique hotel, so it's super bougie and fun. It's in Dallas, and just oh my gosh, so cool. But I'll make sure you have the link. It's not
Yes.
verve.com because Verve is the event, so it's like Verve Sparkle, or I'll get it to you.
Yeah, I will make sure that's in the show notes too. Wow. I feel like I've taken a lot of notes. I don't know if you notice when you're talking, I'm writing things down because I'm like, wow, that's good. Wow, that's good. There's a lot of writer downers today.
Oh, I love, and this is what happens in these amazing conversations. Like when you were on, I was like, mic drop, mic drop, mic drop. Like they were so good. All the nuggets that come when you collaborate with like-minded people. It's just so beautiful.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, I do the podcast because I love these conversations and the people are so amazing. I keep finding all my soul sisters out in the world,
I
right?
love it.
Yeah,
Yes. And this is what we need more of, is women that uplift and support other women. And when you see women, and this I think is what we talked about on my show, or we had this conversation separate, but we're both coaches. We both serve and coach women, yet we're both very different people, even though we believe some of the same things. My goal is for my network to see you and for you to win big. And I think that's what's different about women today than maybe 10 years ago, is women are starting to wake up to the fact that when Heather wins, we win.
right.
When Karen wins, we win. When you as a listener win based on anything we've shared, we win. We all win. We all win together.
Yeah, we don't need the mean girls anymore
No mean girls.
because they don't really get anywhere, right?
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
it's just when we know and believe that what we sow, what we sow into the world. I almost said that backwards. What we sow into the world, we reap.
Right.
And so that law of the harvest and the law of attraction and manifestation, it's not just woo-woo.
Yeah.
It is so truth. It is
Karma.
the laws of the universe, karma, whatever name you want to put onto it. It is true. So the
It is
energy
true.
you put out and where your focus goes, that's where your energy flows, and that's what will come back to you.
Wow. There's mic drop right there.
Another one.
Boom.
Boom. We could end it. That's it. We've done our value for the
Okay, see
day.
you guys later. No, I'm kidding. Well, it's interesting you say that because I always give my guests the final word of wisdom. No pressure. Do you have
Oh, how do I top that? I think I want to go back to a statement that I said earlier because I really want this to sink in, is that your value as a human, as a woman, or whoever's listening to this, your value is not based on outside perceptions. Your value is intrinsically born into your soul. So the moment you were born, you were valuable. That's indisputable, irrefutable, no argument, period. Whole statement, mic drop. And the way that you put that to action is by one, believing it, living according to that. So aligning with that decision and making decisions that are in agreement with that I'm valuable. So I'm going to treat my body as valuable. I'm going to treat myself as valuable. I'm going to create boundaries that protect myself. Therefore, when good things happen, of course they did. I deserve those. So you can begin to receive value. You can begin to give value, receive abundance. Sometimes the very things that we say we want, we are the only thing blocking because somehow unconsciously or subconsciously, we don't believe we deserve them.
Right.
So if you find yourself getting frustrated, check truly what it is that you value and what you believe. So value plus the belief in that value equals your ability to receive abundance.
Kapow.
So, and if you need help with that, that's why Heather and I are here.
Exactly. CoachKarenGray.com. Easy to remember. Gray with an AY. Because I almost spelt it with an E the other day.
Oh, well, that's another version of it. But no, my Mr. Gray is AY.
AY.
And we started a podcast. Instead of the 50 Shades of Gray, it's the 2 Shades of Gray. So it was fun. Awesome. It was fun. But I'm just so grateful for you, Heather, for the conversations, for how you lift other women up, and just so grateful to have you in my network, in my world, and just feel so blessed. So thank you for having me here.
Thank you, Karen. It's so awesome. And definitely everyone go and check out the Rock Movers podcast too, because there's awesome conversations happening over there. If you can get to Dallas, zoom down because it sounds epic, right? Anytime.
Yes. Anytime you come there, look me up. I will make sure to get you in the right rooms, connected with the right people. Cool. Dallas is such a happening place for networking and events and all kind of things. So awesome. Excited.
Very cool. And if you missed anything, I'm going to pile up the show notes with all these good things. So not to worry. Karen, so nice to talk to you again. We're going to do this again. I know it.
We are. We're going to make this a quarterly thing or biannual thing or something. We're going to have conversations all the time. Yeah. There's so much value. So if you go to myrockmovers.com, you will find Heather's episode. So you can hear that one too.
Yeah, for sure. And oh my gosh, subscribe to both podcasts. Like, let's be serious.
Of course.
Everybody share it with the women that you know that could use a little lifting, right? And my friends, have a safe, amazing, happy, joyous day. Take care. I will see you next time.